foundation. So come let us go hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. This also goes for every Trinbagonian who going to live in a foreign land. Now is the time to come home and do something.
Yes, indeed. Now is the time to come home and do something to build this country of ours, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And we are quickly climbing up toward the 51st anniversary of independence. We celebrated in a big way 50 years, and now we are going, toward 51. We have a lot of work to do to transform this place, to build this place, to make it better, not just for this generation, but for the next generation and the next generation. I want to welcome you to this segment. The Dynamic Hour is really that space in time where we can sit and dialogue, sit and talk about what's happening here in Grenada, remaining positive. You know, we have grown so accustomed to negativity that you have a friend or a family member doing good for a long, long time, and just one slip up, one mistake, one little issue, and you stick on that, forgetting all the good things that he did or she did for you, maybe the community, or maybe the country. So we have to remain positive. But that is something that politicians over the many years try to inculcate in our people, making our people stick on the negative. And sometimes it doesn't even exist. They make you create it. They make you believe that it exists. And you stick on that, and it wears you down. It creates mental depression, mental illness, because you focus too much on the negative thing or things. We have to start becoming more positive as a people, and it would motivate us to do good and to transform our lives, to better ourselves and our communities and our country. So we're going to start off with some positive news this morning again, and then we're going to get into a more deeper conversation. The RGPF, they're doing a fantastic job, boy. On the weekend, they were able to seize a number of guns in the St. Patrick area. We have to give the police thumbs up, kudos, right? They're doing a great job. I want to big up Randy Connaught. He's the acting commissioner of police, and the senior police officers, at the leadership end of things, and also those juniors who are doing a fantastic job. That is what a country is looking for in policing, where you can prevent things from happening, where you can investigate, use intelligence, and get the criminals before they do things that would hurt the country, the image of the country. And I really love that. People are always waiting for something bad to talk about the police, to attack the police, to say all kind of stuff about them. But when they're doing something good, we don't hear people talk about it often. We don't hear them come forward and applaud the police for the good things that they are doing. So they're out in the communities more now. There's this community outreach where they're going into the community and speak to residents and engage them getting to know what is the concerns that they have and how they can address it. I love that.
Officers are targeting both high crime areas as well as locations with no significant criminal activity to ensure a visible presence and prevent illegal activities. Sergeant Roy Henry emphasized the importance of building trust and rapport within the communities as the RGPF embarks on a number of community outreach projects.
It's not about starting over this time. The force now embark in a number of community programs and projects. And we do community walkthroughs, school visit, but today we choose to do community walkthrough in that village of Independent Avenue and boundary with Sanssouci.
Residents shared that their biggest concern is that of vagrants who have been seeking shelter in abandoned vehicles along the roadside.
Throughout the community of Independent Avenue, one of the commuters indicated that there are derelict vehicles where it appears to be vagrants are sleeping in it. And they complain of missing items around the house. And they're suspecting the vehicle for harboring the vagrant because they're using it as a means of sleeping in it as a house. And at the same time, it's close to the houses or the community. So items missing from the community, they complain of suspecting that vagrant for moving or stealing those items.
Henry assured that they have already initiated steps to resolve the issue.
We'll look into that mainly by a follow-up. We'll ensure that we check out to see the owner of the vehicle, because we want to, of course, have the vehicle removed voluntarily. If not, then we'll have to remove it forcefully. So if it's moved voluntarily, then there is no safe haven or home for the vagrant to sleep in. If it's not moved, of course, then we'll have to move it to the MIT Ministry of Health. They will put notice on the vehicle and cause the vehicle to be removed.
Thursday's walkthrough is part of a series of community engagements, and officers have disclosed plans to visit other communities within the town, encouraging citizens to get involved by freely voicing their concerns.
Yes, so that's a very good piece there by MTV. I love to see that. Community policing is key. And this outreach, we need to support it. We need to encourage them in the different districts. So not just those in St. George's or St. George, but let's say on the western side, they should do the same thing. In St. Patrick, they should do the same thing. St. Andrew, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, do the same thing. Go into the community. You build a relationship with the people, and then they feel more comfortable in giving you information, in feeding you with information. That is what you want. And I want to commend them. I want to applaud them. I want to encourage them to keep doing what they are doing. The police, they're doing a fantastic job. Look at the amount of guns that they have been able to, take out from the streets, illegal firearms from the streets. They don't get enough praise. They don't get enough commendation and applause for the good work that they are doing. We have to let them know that we appreciate them and that we thank them for the work that they are doing to keep us safe, Let's move to another positive news item.
Government will prioritize rehabilitative work on sporting facilities in Carriacou for 2025 in time to facilitate the staging of major school sporting events for the season. That's according to Sports Minister Honorable Delma Thomas, who recently visited the island to assess damage and scope of work to be done on the mini stadium in Lauriston, the Dover playing field, and the Hillsborough tennis court. Minister Thomas and Sports Coordinator Mr. Curlon Peters joined Parliamentary Representative and Minister for Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs, Honorable Tevin Andrews, on tour of the facilities on Wednesday. Minister explained to GIS that work on the main sporting facility, the Lauriston Mini Stadium, which was significantly damaged during Hurricane Beryl, will soon commence.
So in short order, by next week, hopefully, we expect them to start the roof, having an appreciation that sports will be soon in Carriacou and Petite Martinique, and we do want the children in Carriacou and Petite Martinique to be actively engaged in the sporting event this season. And so we'll do all in our powers to fast track the work And so another contractor from Carriacou will assist with the painting and other rehabilitation work. So some of the work will be fast-tracked to accommodate the sporting season, but there will be some other major work to be done after. But we will do all in our powers to do those things that are important at this time to ensure that the sports runs smoothly. Carriacou will be given priority in terms of rehabilitation of their sporting facilities to ensure that the young people can actively engage in sports. So we appreciate that after Beryl, there have been many devastation as it relates to Plainfield and Carriacou as a whole, and so it will be prioritized in our 2025 work plan.
Minister Thomas explained the scope of work for the other facilities.
Some rehabilitation work will be done there also. We also visited the site, the future site of state-of-the-art tennis court, which will be built there. So apart from the rehabilitation work, we also will be lighting the Lauriston or rehabilitating the lights because there were lights there before in Lauriston sometime in the months ahead. So in 2025 for sure, that will be one of the major projects on the Ministry of Sports for Carriacou.
Yes. So that was the Honorable Delma Thomas there. They visited Carriacou to make sure that things get back on track for the sporting season, right? You know, we have a lot of school sports and so on coming up. And I love that. The Honorable Delma Thomas, she has been doing a fantastic job in the Ministry of Sports, Youth and Sports. Big up your whole self. She has always been a person committed to getting the job done. Very hardworking minister. So big up your whole self, the Honorable Delma Thomas. Still keeping with some positive news. Solid waste management.
Supported by the Republic of China. The Grenada Solid Waste Grand Blue Environmental Company Limited from the People's Republic of China have signed a memorandum of understanding geared at formulating a plan to establish technical cooperation. The plan, which will be developed over the next 6 months, is expected to focus on transforming the waste management sector in Grenada through the application of advanced technologies, including but not limited to waste and wastewater treatment, waste-to-energy, recycling, sludge treatment, waste collection schemes, and best practices for environmental protection. The MOU was signed by Mr. Lyndon Robertson, General Manager of the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, and Dr. Han Wei Zheng, Chief Technology Officer of Grand Blue Environmental Company Limited, early January, following meetings with the Management Authority's directors and staff. Dr. Han Wei Zheng, Chief Technology Officer of Grand Blue Environmental Company Limited, commended the Grenada Solid Waste on its achievements so far with great limitations. He expressed excitement for the collaboration.
This is a good start for both sides, and we will move on fast. In the next coming 6 months, I expect that we can come up with good quality. That's wonderful experience for me. Trip, I got a lot of understanding on the Grenada, especially in the solid waste management. I think authority has done very good job, excellent job in this current condition. And for the future, I think both sides can cooperate together, move to the next level of the solid waste management.
General Manager of the Solid Waste, Lyndon Robertson, outlined key areas of target for the cooperation. The intention, he said, is to create an eco-village that can transition waste to resources.
At this stage, we are in what we would call the first stage of the arrangement. And this MOU, which was authorized by the Cabinet of Ministers, this MOU allows for that partnership between the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority and Grand Blue Inc. of China to develop the technical and financial proposal for twinning that operation or developing that replica of an eco-village and industrial park for the sustainable management of waste. This includes all aspects, and we are also looking at waste to energy so that the entire facility
Partnership marks a significant milestone for Grenada in working towards realizing its strategic goal of minimizing the waste sent to the landfill by 80% by the year 2035. Robertson is optimistic that with a system tailored to suit the needs of Grenada, that goal can be surpassed.
based on the model that we saw that exists at the Grand Blue Industrial Park. We have the potential that if we were to succeed, that we would be able to recycle 100% of the waste, of the solid waste generated in Grenada. So we would be developing that model based on our generation rate and what is suitable for Grenada with regards to our various waste streams and what the products that we intend to generate from the various waste streams and the amount of
Resilience, the environment. Perron Johnson, speaking at the stakeholder consultation, highlighted the MOU signing as both significant for the desired transformation.
The active initiative of the Ministry of Climate Resilience, but by extension, the government of Grenada, who is not just looking at solid waste management as just another activity, but we are absolutely serious about the investment made, and hence the reason why the government is making the significant investment in the authority to ensure that the transformative initiative that we want to see executed throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique is really realized. So the MOU here is just another milestone in terms of transformation, in terms of waste management. So the ministry is very pleased to be part of this initiative. It simply means that we are not operating in silos, and we want to take on a whole of society approach. We do not have all the expertise within the ministry, so we embrace the private sector, we embrace the NGOs, we embrace any reap the benefit of this proposed. It's on record, the ministry's profound appreciation for the collaboration that has started.
Grand Blue Environmental Corporation Limited has a comprehensive business scope including waste to energy, biomass integrated utilization and hazardous waste treatment, energy supply and operation, environmental protection engineering, technical research and development planning, and construction of environmental protection industrial parks.
Yeah, so that's a very good initiative there. The MOU is the first step, and then they would move to the next level. And I would love to see this become a reality here in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, because we want Grenada to remain pristine. All right, so we want to give the Honorable Kireen James thumbs up, and P.S. Johnson, Perron Johnson there, and the team at that ministry. They're doing a fantastic job, a really, really good job. And I say to people, sometimes you want the thing in your hand, and then you're going to say, well, you give me something, or you're doing something. But sometimes the thing happens within the ecosystem, within the space that you exist in, and you're benefiting from it. But because it's not in your hand, let's say a $5 in your hand, then you still believe that that MP or that person is not doing X or doing Y. But here you have Minister Kirin James, her ministry doing that task waste. If you don't clean the street, then and certain things will happen. So a good move on the part of the Honorable Kirin James and her ministry to partner with this company out of China to see what they can do to better the situation with waste disposal, waste treatment, recycling, and because we're in 2024 and we're moving towards greater things in this modern time. We have to transform. We have to innovate. We have to come up with ways and means to get out of this waste more, instead of using all the gas and the diesel and you can renew and use the same stuff as energy to process things right there and then. So really, really happy to see what is happening with the Ministry of the Environment, Solid Waste, and all of them. The Minister, the Honorable Kirin James, she don't get enough praise for the work that she's doing in that Ministry of Climate Resilience and so on. But they're doing a fantastic job. All right. Let's feature a little piece of this.
The Ministry of Education continues its mandates in leading through innovation and collaboration. As part of Vision 75, Grenada is poised to experience dynamic reform in the education system. The grant-funded OECS Pearl project is one initiative which has brought significant benefit to our nation's children. The project focuses on enhanced quality and equity of access to early childhood education needs and special education needs services, enhanced curriculum and assessment, strengthened leadership and management, program management, institutional monitoring, and evaluation. In a special GIS interview, Mr. John L. Mitchell, OECS Pearl Curriculum Support Officer, provided insights on the 4-year project and the strides made in the primary school curriculum. He highlighted the progress thus far.
We had a number of writers throughout the OECS who were trained, so even before we got into what we have right now, who were trained, and they came together to do the writing. The writing happened in the areas of science, math, social studies, language. Each of the major GPE countries, the 4 countries, the Windward Islands, they bore the brunt of the writing, but they also partnered with the other territories. So for example, here in Grenada, for math, we had a math lead. That math lead was in charge of the writers here in Grenada, and we partnered with Antigua. We had 2 writers from Antigua partnering with us for all of the components. So 2 for math, 2 for language, 2 for social studies. Whereas locally, we had at least about 5 of our writers. So to write, for example, the math curriculum, we had 7 people from our island. So when these 7 people wrote, whatever St. Lucia wrote, St. Vincent and their partners, Dominica and their partners, it came together in one. So when we wrote the grade 1, all the components came together from the different islands and it's been reviewed. We have people in the background, the consultants, we have enrichment people who are going to look at what's written to make adjustments, and a number of processes have gone through it.
What is significant in this initiative is the introduction of the new digital OECS harmonized primary curriculum. This new approach of transforming the primary school curriculum with the use of technology. To ensure an effective reform process, the project is in a micro-pilot phase within select primary schools. This micro-pilot will be followed by another.
So currently we are in what we call the micro-pilot stage. Each of the OECS territories are going through a micro-pilot stage. And when we speak to micro-pilot, it's just a sample of our schools that are involved right now in looking at that curriculum. In Grenada here, we have 12 schools across the 7 educational districts, 1 in Carriacou, and that's the Mount Pleasant Government School, and the other 11 schools are on mainland. They are currently in the micropilot phase where they are going to interact with the digital curriculum. And as they interact with the digital curriculum as it stands, working well, what's not working, how can it be them, how have they benefited from its components, and as they give that feedback, is going to be taken onto the next phase. The micropilot phase of this, it started last September, it goes on for 1 year, and it ends in July.
The micropilot phase will be followed by the main pilot phase.
September 2025, this year, where all of our schools in the interaction of that digital curriculum. Again, through that process, more feedback will be given, because at the end of the day, we want to have a complete document that will be able to stand, that teachers will be able to use and properly inform our educational sector. So after that whole aspect of the pilot is finished for 1 year, it goes from September 2025 to July 2026, the school year, and then comes September 2026. This is the curriculum that's going to form what happens in our classroom.
This digitization aligns with the government's commitment to transformation of the education system. The new digital OECS harmonized primary curriculum is to be implemented for use in September 2026.
Yes, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Some people may not understand how big this deal is. So kudos to the Honorable David Andrew, all right, and the Ministry of Education. I think they're doing a fantastic job. Fantastic job. Let us continue with some positivity. Let's highlight the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, our beloved Prime Minister. We are not talking enough about that trip to China. This is significant. We were able to sign 13 MOUs, Memorandum of Understanding, to get things done, to start projects and to undertake certain initiatives and so on here in Grenada. So it's the cooperation between China and Grenada is big. It's huge. And this has never happened in the history of Grenada. This is historic. This is a big deal. And we have to talk more about it. We don't expect the opposition to talk about it. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to see this thing come true. No. But we have to talk about this historic signing, agreements, engagement. This particular trip was huge for Grenada.
Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell participated in the inaugural Grenada-China Trade and Investment Cooperation Forum, a significant event during his historic visit to the People's Republic of China, commemorating the 20th anniversary of diplomatic ties between both nations. Abigail McIntyre has more in this report.
This video is part of Grenada's presentation at the Grenada-China Trade and Investment Cooperation Forum in Beijing this week, attended by key Chinese government and business officials. The Grenada delegation, led by Prime Minister Honorable Dickon Mitchell, focused on the country's developmental targets, particularly in relation to Vision 75 and Grenada's commitment to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. China expressed its willingness to align development strategies with Grenada and expand cooperation in crucial areas such as tourism and hospitality, health and wellness, agriculture and agro-processing, renewable energy, including geothermal, offshore wind and solar opportunities, infrastructure development, ICT, and education. In his address to the forum, Prime Minister Mitchell emphasized that Grenada is not merely a tropical paradise, but a nation rich in untapped potential. He invited visionary investors to partner with Grenada in pursuit of economic growth, sustainable development, and shared prosperity.
Grenada is fully committed to creating an enabling environment for investment. The relationship between Grenada and China is built on mutual respect, trust, and shared aspirations, and the success of our bilateral relationship serves as a foundation for even greater collaboration in the future. And this forum is a practical example of this. Yesterday we signed 13 cooperation agreements with the government of China. Many of them relate specifically to encouraging unimpeded trade, to encouraging economic development, to encouraging the growth of our respective business sectors. And so we urge you, I urge my Grenadian team to make sure that when we come out of this forum, we would have strengthened the opportunities for continued growth and mutual development of our respective business sectors.
Grenada's ambassador to China, His Excellency Ian Marshall, delivered a presentation at the Investment Forum outlining the numerous investment opportunities and possibilities in Grenada. He highlighted Project Polaris, a significant investment opportunity. Project Polaris is an 84-acre state-of-the-art medical village located in St. David's, the constituency of Prime Minister Mitchell. This initiative aligns with Vision 75, aiming to address major health challenges while positioning Grenada as a regional hub for medical tourism and research.
This 84-acre medical city is set to revolutionize healthcare, education, and tourism, not just in Grenada, but across the OECS. At the core of this transformation,
right, so that's the audio there being played at that investment forum. But folks, we have to understand what our beloved Prime Minister is actually doing for this country of ours, He's marketing Grenada. He's putting Grenada on the map so that people will know that they can invest here and there's opportunities here. This is different. You see, the most honorable Deacon Mitchell came from the private sector. He was never a politician. He came from the private sector, understanding how important it is to have a good image out there, to market your whatever you have. And he's doing a fantastic job, an excellent job there, marketing Grenada, putting Grenada out there, because we need investment. We need people to come here and invest in Grenada to help us, so to speak. And he's just the ideal person to go there and bring that help. We are not hearing the NNP at all. They have become very quiet, very, very quiet, because what else would they do, really? Yes, they have been negative for a long, long time. They continue to be negative, but they have gone very cold, very, very quiet, because we are seeing more and more good things coming the way of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. More and more positivity on the part of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. We're doing well in tourism. We're doing well in education. We're doing well in agriculture. We're doing well in when it comes to infrastructure and building and transforming the place, or roads. Things are happening for our people. So the NNP, because you see, The NNP can only thrive when bad things are happening. And that is why I was very harsh on one of their surrogates with the whole issue of the gun law, the amended law that was passed to make it tougher for people with illegal firearms, right? Because when you listen to them, surrogates and pundits of the NNP, it's like they vex that Grenada is peaceful. They vex that the law is so tough that people are scared, so to speak, to have an illegal firearm. And that is what you want. You want them to be afraid of having an illegal gun. You want them to know that if they're caught with it, they face up to 40 years in prison. That is what the law did. The law is saying no bail for you at the magistrate court. You're going to go on remand, you're going to go in jail. So you better know that the police is coming for you. All right? And only on the weekend, we saw the amount of weapons that they were able to confiscate or seize or get illegal firearms, right, up in St. Patrick, somewhere in St. Patrick. So the police is doing a good job, but the law in itself is helping the police, right? So when you hear the NNP surrogates speaking and talking about the law is unconstitutional and the law is illegal and the law is this and then you hear Jerry Edwin talking his nonsense, you say, but wait, what those NNP surrogates, right, and zeroing in on the NNP surrogate who spoke on a particular program, what they want is for this place to come like Trinidad, right? That is what they want. They don't want peace and stability to exist in this country, because NNP thrives. They leech off problems. That is why they were pushing the unions, but the unions did not fall for it. At least, well, let me say only one union leader who fell for it, but the majority of union leaders did not fall for it. They were pushing them to see if they can cause some industrial unrest over the pension issue for contract workers, when it was indeed a good thing having a pension in place for contract workers. So when they retire, they could go home with something and collect something every month. That's a good thing until they die, until they're dead, right? So I am right. So Pele is saying, yeah, it's up Mount Rich and Mount Craven. I think that's what he's telling me. That's where the police did this major operation, and they were very, very successful again, right? So I'm saying to you, it is clear that the NNP surrogates and pundits, they can only have a voice when there is instability, when there is some kind of problem, when there is some kind of drama, and they're not getting that. They try to woo the unions into that corner. They were not successful. In fact, the loud union leaders who are out there yapping, they gone undercover, they gone underground. As long as positivity continues, as long as good things continue in this country, the NNP will be history. History. But mind you, the NNP, in my belief, not standing on the side and waiting. I am convinced that some of the surrogates and pundits are involved in orchestration of certain things in this country. They want it to happen so bad. They want bad things to befall this country that they're willing to get involved And that is why some of them scared. They scared, right? You hear some asking for protection and all these different things. Grenada is a very peaceful country, a very peaceful place. This place is nice, you know. To really know how nice Grenada is, right? You have to go in another place and experience it. Leave Grenada and go somewhere else. And this kind of nostalgic feel, this longing to come back home, right? This place is nice. Grenada is a nice, nice place. We have lovely people, lovely views and scenes, and yes, we have the beach or beaches, and we have the, how you say, sun, sea, and sun. Sun, sea, and sun. We have all of that. But the people, the warmth, the friendliness, Madame, well, I can call her name, Margaret, right? Margaret in Miami. She called me. She said, Kem Jones, she came to Grenada and she fell ill. And she came down with pneumonia and so on. And she's a nurse in Miami. And she said, Kem Jones, people don't give the nurses and doctors enough credit, We know it's not a perfect system. We know you go find one or two who wouldn't do what they're supposed to do in the right way, but generally speaking, the nurses and doctors, they're doing a fantastic job. She said she came down with that illness and they took really good care of her, right? I'm not saying to you that another person wouldn't have a different experience, but she was in high praises for the way the doctor, the way the nurses treated her and took good care of her. And then she went back overseas, but she said she cannot live with her conscience, right? Not to let me know and let other people know the treatment she got. In other words, she can't leave it inside. She had to call. She said, Kem Jones, boy, I got some good treatment from the nurses and the doctors at the general hospital. And that is important because sometimes so many attacks, so many bad things, right? You get demotivated. It beats you down. But when you get good news, good feedback, for example, if you're a chef and they can tell you, the chefs, they would tell you they normally from time to time go down on the restaurant floor just to find out, to get feedback from the people who are eating what they prepared, what they organized, just to know how it tastes. You enjoyed your meal? Or what are some of the, negatives out of that, just to improve and better it? So sometimes when you get that kind of feedback, it motivates you. It keeps you going. It makes you know that there are people out there who love and appreciate your good work. There's a friend who went to one of those ministries and encountered either a receptionist or a secretary. And they were very, very courteous, very respectful, very, helpful. And she was in high praises. So sometimes you have to tell people, I appreciate you. I thank you. Yesterday I had my good friends, well, I call them family. Glenroy Bethel, Julie, well, Finch, but Bethel, and Kathleen's son, I don't know his name. Kathleen was a Stephen, big up your whole self, and other family members. So they came in yesterday and said, well, I mean, you can't just come here and just stay in and then jump the boat and go up to Petit Martinique and do what you have to do, Say, let us go out and knock a drink. And they are nice, nice people. And then I said to Kathleen and Glenroy, I say, yo, I appreciate you all. Because, when I'm in New York, they treat me well. Even here, very nice and courteous and respectful, decent people. I'll tap and say, hey, I appreciate you. I love you. I thank you. I appreciate you. Right? Cavell was a girl. You good? Cavell Ralston. So I'm saying all of this to say sometimes, just expressing it, saying it makes a huge difference. Because sometimes it could be dung, You think it's easy sometimes to wake up and do this program and then come back in the night again. But you see somebody and they say to you, Kem Jones, well, I like what you're doing, Keep it up, boy. Just simple things like that. Nothing grand. And it makes you feel good that somebody's out there and they appreciate what you're doing. Just that simple. If you do that today to somebody, sometimes I call one of those business places, sometimes I call one of those government departments, and I said, good morning, how are you doing? The person who answers the phone, how are you doing? Are you there going? That kind of simple thing. And that would light them up. Simple. Because, sometimes they encounter so many rough people, quote unquote, rough people, that they call in rage and anger and they have all kind of, attitude and so on. You just meet that one nice person who would say, good morning, how are you doing? Right? And then you ask whatever service you're asking for. In other words, simple things like that. It goes a long way. And if you could do that today for somebody, maybe you would make their day. All right? The negativity, too much, and negative. It wears you down. It beats you down. It can have you in this kind of mental locker, right? Mental illness can start happening or showing up because every time it's just negative. And that's what's happening with the NNP. They have become so negative. In fact, the NNP TV went to PT Martinique. She didn't get a good reception there. And Karaku. No. Because, people are fed up. That they come in to look, to go and complain and grind and groan, and while the people are fighting to make ends meet and to do certain things. Josephine Prime was that's a nice lady. Josephine Prime. She's a very, very nice lady. All right? Big up your whole self. I know over there is very cold. The United States is very, very cold today. Tomorrow will be even worse, from what I understand. All right? So, folks, I wish you all the best out there. It's warm. I'm in my studio, a little AC here, but outside there it's a bit warm and nice in Grenada. So it goes. Folks, I want to wish you all the best. I will be back with you tonight in the hub, starting from 8 in the PM as we continue that journey. Again, we got to talk about it. And I'm saying again, folks, we are not talking enough about the 13 MOUs that we were able to sign with China and this successful trip by our beloved Prime Minister and his team. It was a successful trip. It was a historic one. Never happened. Keith Mitchell, the NNP man, remote control, he has been in power for 20-something years. That never happened within his time. Never at this level. So this is monumental. This is big. But we have to toot our horns more about it. Folks,